Okay, welcome back to the channel, welcome back. So I ain't been on for a little while, but there's been some news last night that's caught my attention, so I thought I'd just come make a quick video. Terance Bud Crawford has come out and made a statement saying Errol Spence Jr. is not a Hall of Famer, and it has sent the boxing world wild, right? All the channels have been talking about it and giving their opinion and two pennies worth. So look, I'm just gonna say this. Errol Spence Jr., right, was the unified welterweight champion of the world, right? He only had one belt to collect, and that was Terance Crawford's. Errol Spence was adamant he wanted that fight at some stage of his career, but he was kind of stalling it out. The fans felt like it was stalling it out, and the fight came 5 years too late. You know, we've got to be thankful that the fight actually happened, but a lot of people felt that Errol Spence wasn't at his best. I personally was one of those people as well, but I don't believe any version of Errol Spence would beat Terance Crawford. I think Crawford would have beaten Spence anyway, personally, but that doesn't count for anything. But for Terance Crawford to come out and say that Errol Spence is not a Hall of Famer, for me personally, the way I'm seeing it is, I don't think Errol Spence is a Hall of Famer. A lot of people say, oh, he did all the heavy lifting. A lot of the guys, not even a lot of the guys, all the guys who Spence got in there with, Crawford would beat. I'm quite comfortable, I put money on it, that Crawford would beat them. So, Terance Crawford coming out and making that statement, for me, he's just being honest, because I cannot see Errol Spence being inducted to the Hall of Fame, and if he does, I think it would be a wrong decision. But a lot of people are saying, well, Terance Crawford is diminishing his own resume by saying something like this, and I could have to agree with that, yes, because Errol Spence has to be one of the biggest names on his resume. Is he the best fighter on his resume? I personally don't think so, but you know, he's the biggest name, the man with the most accolades. He had the unified championship, so people are going to go with that, right? But Terance Crawford, he's speaking his mind, he's saying it as it is. He doesn't want to pussyfoot around anything and just say that he's not a Hall of Famer, and I agree with him, but at the same time it could be seen as him diminishing his own resume. He's got the Canelo fight coming up right now, and obviously Canelo is a Hall of Famer, and I think Terance Crawford's so confident, so high going in there to this Canelo fight that he believes he's going to win this fight. And that's the best attitude, that's the best mentality and the best attitude you can have when you're going to face someone like Canelo Alvarez. Unlike Jermell Charlo, who just went in there for a payday. We saw how that turned out, right? There was no way in no shape or form when we watched that fight against Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. Jermell didn't go in there to win that fight. He went in there to survive, to get a payday. Now, Terance Crawford is saying he's going to go in there and beat Canelo. That's what he's saying. But a lot of people have said that before, and they've come out, on the receiving end of a beating, as did Jermell Charlo. And Terance Crawford mocked Jermell Charlo after the Canelo fight. He said, you didn't do nothing, you ran. You just went in there for a payday, you ran. You embarrassed yourself, A fight between Charlo and Crawford, for me, is a good fight. Obviously, Crawford's got the Canelo fight, and I know a lot of the Errol Spence fans are upset and mad. They're raging because they wanted Errol to get that fight. After win, lose or draw, I'd like to see Terance Crawford fight Jermell Charlo. Win, lose or draw against Canelo, I'd like to see. If Crawford beats Canelo, I know there will probably be a rematch, but I would like to see him fight Jermell first, and then obviously if Canelo still wants that rematch, entertaining. You got to look at it like this: if not even once, if Crawford beats Canelo, he now becomes the A side and he now dictates terms. I don't care what any of you guys say. It's the same thing that's going on with Bivol right now. Bivol beat Canelo. Canelo's trying to bring him to the table, but trying to dictate terms. And Bivol's team is like saying, hey, what are you talking about? You didn't win the last fight, so you don't get to dictate nothing around here. You understand? That's why that fight's not happening. Canelo doesn't want to... he doesn't want to fight by Bivol's rules. So anyway, look, enough said. I ain't going to say much more. Terance Crawford says Errol Spence is not a Hall of Famer, and I second that. He's not a Hall of Famer. But for it to come out of Terance Crawford's mouth, it could look like he's diminishing his own resume, because a lot of these guys says he ain't beat nobody. But a lot of the guys who was saying he ain't beat nobody were Errol Spence fans, and they're the ones that are mad right now because Terance Crawford said Errol Spence is not a Hall of Famer.